All right, you guys. I'm just a little worn out. And I'm gonna be okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Uh, just a little worn out. Um, and I have to give some credit where it's due, though. I was watching something, a video today with this woman. I don't want to get her name wrong. The last time I said somebody's name, instead of saying Klaus Schwab, I called him Charles Schwab, and uh, I'm a little hesitant about saying her name, but her last name is Harrington, and she's British. And she had some good things to say in an interview with, I believe, Chris Williamson. Is that his name? Um, she talked about how she doesn't post certain things online, and the reason for that is she called it being digitally modest, and she talked about how if you if you post certain things, she specifically referred to how she took a selfie of there was a picture taken of her after she completed a marathon where she looked totally worn out and miserable, about to collapse and everything, and she knew that some people would say mean things to her. That she knew that most of the people who watched her would be, oh, right on, way to go, marathon, wow, that's impressive, especially for someone your age, etc., and so on. But that there'd be just some people who saying, "You look so ugly in that picture," and and she knew that those mean comments would just ruin her day, and so she correctly, I think, prudently decided not to post that photo, and she also went into a few more details about being what she called digitally modest. It was an interesting uh, interview. I'll post to it. Um, I'll post to it below if I remember to do so. Um, but man, I for my tiny channel, I've had a couple of videos that kind of went for me. Uh, you know, keeping everything to scale. I mean, for my the kind of audience that I usually get, the kind of view count that I usually get for my videos. I posted a couple of videos that just really attracted a lot of people, attracted a lot of traffic, and brought in a lot of people who don't normally watch my videos. Um, and I have to say that for the most part, just like the this Ms. Harrington was saying in this video. um, I believe it's Mary Harrington, but I just don't want. I'm not totally sure. But just like she was saying, most of the comments from the strangers has been positive, has been constructive, has been useful, but the handful of just people who coming on and just saying things that are completely idiotic and who are insulting and don't know what they're talking about, are intentionally missing my point. Uh, or either they're intentionally missing my point, or they're just too dense to to understand what the point was. Um, you know, it's one or the other. But anyway, I've already spoken my piece about the Mormon girls video, and if you want to hear me blather about that, then you can go to my most recent live cast where I talk about how some of the people used that video as an opportunity to heap scorn upon me and to ridicule me because of what they the backstory that they put that they quite arbitrarily put um, in my history that was absolutely not true. But the other video that I had that has drawn a lot of traffic, again for me, a lot more traffic than I'm used to, is the video that I posted about the stop sign, about me getting hit with a $336 fine for running a stop sign uh, on an obscure country road. And the point of that video was not to say, uh, it's not a stop sign. It was not to say, no, I didn't run the stop sign. It was to say $336 for running a stop sign on some obscure country road, with basically a gravel driveway to your right, where you can easily see pulling up that no one is coming. That getting hit with a ticket, and that ticket costing $336 is outrageous, and I think anyone who is reasonable will confirm that. And most of y'all understood the point that I was making, and came to the reasonable conclusion, which is the conclusion that I came to, of course. So great minds think alike. But there were a few there were a few people, God, and y'all just, those of you, just, I mean, in a way it was kind of amusing, but in another way it was not that amusing. It just wore me out. It wore me down. Like, to have people come on and say, well, if you don't want to get a ticket, then just stop at the stop sign. Well, stop complaining about you getting a ticket. You got a ticket because you went through a stop sign. Okay, that's against the law. Okay, so now quit bitching. Next time, stop at a stop sign. Okay. I mean, God, I can't tell you how many freaking morons uh, came on and said that same identical thing, as if I were saying, uh, it was, number one, as if I were saying it wasn't truly a stop sign, or number two, that I didn't run the stop sign, although I maintain I did nothing dangerous at all. I cruised up, looked to see if anyone was coming. No one was coming, so I went without stopping. And it's a spot where there really ought to be a yield sign rather than a stop sign. It's pretty ridiculous that there's a stop sign there. But yes, it technically is a stop sign, and yes, I went through it. And so, yeah, I said in the video, I mean, you guys, you new people, those of you who are new here and couldn't understand the point that I was making, and it's a pretty simple point, and the point is that that charging a person $336 for running a stop sign on a little country road is totally unacceptable. Some of y'all said it's highway robbery. Absolutely, it is literal highway robbery, and it is robbery, because if I don't pay the fine, then then they'll arrest me and I'll go to jail, and I'll have to pay an even bigger fine or whatever, like so. So it seemed like a really, really simple point, okay? But I got so many people. And of course, some of them were cops, I could tell. Some of them were cops who were just, who just bristled at the criticism. Which, fine, whatever, you don't have to like it, but, you may not like it that people get to say things, get to criticize cops, but we still get to do it, and we're still gonna do it. So, some of them, I think a couple of the people who were sending me these hate messages, or these sort of, why didn't you just stop at the stop sign? If you don't want to get a ticket, why don't you just stop at the stop sign, huh? Why'd you go through? If you went through the stop sign, that means you broke the law, so you get a ticket, okay? So shut up. So shut up and quit complaining. Okay, so I think probably a couple of them, I just got the sense. I told them I smelled bacon. That was what it was. But I think for a lot of them, it's just sort of this like worship of authority. This blind worship, of the boys in blue. Oh, you gotta do you gotta do what they say, and that's just the law. And without laws, there'd be chaos. And well, okay, you know, that's fine. But let's let the punishment fit the crime, okay? I run a stop sign on a little country road, and a cop leaps out from behind the bushes, says, "I got him now! I got him now! Sheriff Roscoe in hot pursuit!" And then he puts on his siren and stops me and gives me a ticket. Okay, fine, Sheriff Roscoe. You did it. You got some money for the city's coffers, which is what these little petty fines are all about. Fine, you did it. Um, but let the punishment fit the crime, okay? $336. I mean, that's enough to break a person. Um, luckily not me. Luckily, I have other contingencies without going into any detail. But for a lot of people, charging that much is like, I mean, I don't know. Uh, it's some people have a very narrow margin, um, as far as paying groceries, paying bills, uh, paying for gas, paying, some people are just have a very uh, narrow, as I said, narrow margin, and making them pay $336 at the point of a gun, which is what you're doing when you're a policeman and you write someone a ticket. Um, then I mean, that's the kind of thing where I think to myself, how do you live with yourself? I mean, if you're the kind of cop who goes after legitimate bad guys and gets them and arrests them, and you know puts them away, then good for you. This is the sound of one hand clapping. Good for you. Okay. Um, as long as you're not like interrogating innocent people and trying to get them to confess to things that they didn't do, which is something else that cops do. And I'm going to come to I've talked about that before, but I'm going to talk about that again because there's this new special on Netflix that really, really puts that feature into focus. Um, so there's a lot to dislike about cops. But anyway, yes, I did go through the stop sign, so technically I should have gotten a ticket. That was never disputed, but some of y'all acted like I was disputing that, and you're just idiots. Okay, you're fools. You're morons. You don't you don't you can't watch a 10-minute video with a fairly simple message, uh, and grasp the simple message, and say either you're right, $336 is way too much, which is what you should say, or come on and say, well, $336 is just it's what you got to pay, and there's nothing wrong with that because I don't know. If you want to try to argue against the actual point that I was making, that's what you would do. You would say you should pay that $336 because It's not, it's, I don't know. You should just pay whatever you have to pay. Whatever they decide that you need to pay, that's what you should pay, right? Whatever they decide the punishment is for the crime, that's just because they're the authorities and they can decide those things and you can't. You're just some citizen, some some pitiful citizen who's not an authority. Uh, God. I mean, I don't know how you make the argument that $336 is not an unreasonable charge for for running a stop sign in on the country road that I showed y'all. Okay, I was That's the other thing about that video was I was there, actually went to the site and showed y'all, and I got some. There was some interesting commentary, people chiming in about various things, relating to that the railway system. That's why they have the stop sign there because of this, that, or the other thing. And yeah, like some of y'all really brought it and had some interesting comments. You brought some interesting details to the table. I think one of you said that told me that I should be mad about the price, but not to blame the cops because the cops don't have anything to do with what the price is. Okay, I guess, but I mean, would they quit in I mean, are you telling me that the cops are going to do more than shrug if you point this out to them? I mean, is it really going to bother them? Or are they just going to say, well, that's not my, that's not, that's out of my jurisdiction. I just give tickets to people. I leave it to other people to decide. I leave it to other authorities to decide how much they have to pay for those tickets. Anyhow, if you're dumb, if you're an idiot, uh, I guess there's no way I can keep you away from my channel. Um, but I wish that I wish I had idiot repellent. Okay, I wish I had can't can't hear the point that's actually being made. So I'm going to argue against you for something else, that a point that you're not even making. I wish I had a way to filter out those sorts of people. Except some of them were kind of fun to respond to. I actually had one guy. Just go off, like write a freaking book. I told him TLDR, because it was true. Too long, didn't read. Anyway, he got really exercised about rolling stop. You say it's a roll, you call it a rolling stop? Let me tell you something, mister. There is no such thing as a rolling stop. Okay? You either stop or you don't stop. There's no such thing as a rolling stop. God, that's the hill you want to die on? Really? That's the hill you want to die on? It's an expression. Okay? I know that when you're rolling, you're not actually stopped. It's an expression. All right? Anyhow, it's been kind of fun, and it's been kind of a pain to deal with all these comments, but I don't know, keep them coming, I guess. Whatever. Anyhow, just wanted to let y'all know my thoughts on all that. So, thanks for watching. Talk to y'all soon.